Probably just hook the winch up to it.
Would it hit the ass end too?
Oh, didn't that wheel just quit rolling this?
Yeah, it's dragging that back tire. Right against that. They probably like them forward a little more. Good. Just put the lock against it. And we got it back home. And a couple of things that need to get addressed, I think, right away is getting it so that we can kind of have it yard driving. And one of them is the tires that are on the back are no good. They are off of a snowblower or something like that. You can see the lug pattern doesn't even fit. But the stock rims are back inside there, and we have new tires that one of our YouTubers actually donated to the cause. So we're gonna get those on there, and I think also we should probably, I know there's a bee's nest in it, so be ready to duck. Get the carburetor off of it, and we'll get that soaking in the parts cleaner, and I'll let that do its thing for a little while. So let's get that out of the way. Yeah, see if we can get that. I got the 2 bolts out of it. Got a fuel line and a linkage still hooked up. What else we got? Yeah, that's like a big. There's that. That's a little crispy. And linkage. It's got a spring inside it. Look at that. You see it? Huh. Can we pop that right out of there? There it goes. A little collar pulls back on it. Let's get that disassembled, see what it looks like, and get her soaking, shall we? Now let's go see what prizes we get on the inside of this carb. Could be spotless, or it could be a pile of you know what. I'm guessing it's going to look fairly clean. See if that was, if I just jinxed myself. The big reveal. Dun 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 dun. Shall we? Yeah, not too bad. You can see where the old gas evaporated and burned up what was left, but I wouldn't say that looks terrible at all. The float is stuck. Okay, it was stuck. So that would have allowed gas to just keep flowing through it probably. Get the pin out of her. Should probably back you guys up or back away from you, huh? There, you need a regular screwdriver. Did I leave it out? Might have left that outside. I'll get those 2 out of there, and what else do I want to take off? Linkage can stay on, everything else can kind of stay on. See what it's got for air fuel mixes. You see one? I don't see, there's one right there. Right there. So let me get those out of there and let her cook. I got you guys back in your normal viewing stand. And everything out except for this guy right here, which is the center. This is where all the magic happens. Let's see if I can get it out. Right there. This is called the emulsion tube. There we go. You can see how not too bad. I could see the holes anyway, but they're not exactly clean, are they? That's that guy. And is there still? On the idle side of things, I believe that's the way this one's set up. That's main and that's idle circuit. Yeah, I was not looking. Kind of corroded on the end there, huh? That's the idle circuit. So I'm going to get the body. Is there a spring in there? Might be. No. Get that soaking away. And it's a couple hours later. It should be, the soup should be pretty good done. Good and done. How's that? Throw that to the side. And let's see how that guy looks. I can tell you it feels hot. And the float bulb. I think that'll clean up just fine. Again, that stuff looks like it tarnishes it a little bit, but that's alright. As long as it's clean where it needs to be clean, right? So a little change in plans. It's the next morning, but the weather is supposed to be turning on us and getting up to like 50-mile-an-hour gusts and heavy rains and all that, and it's already starting to rain a little bit lightly. So instead of me trying to screw with this thing outside, I am going to pull the trailer up and do my best to get it in the garage so that we can actually work on it and be somewhat comfortable. You guys can actually hear what I'm saying, kind of deal. So without further ado, let's get that thing in the garage. And she's back in the garage and set up kind of under the lift. You can see how it works out. Lifting it up, it's not exactly the standard points of something you would pick up. Yeah, looks like it might be okay. We'll give it a shake test. And what the shake test is, you put up a little bit and you kind of shake her. If you don't fall off, you're good. I'm going with. Watch it fall off now. Be our first time getting a look underneath it. Let me set it up. I'll grab a creeper and a light. We'll take a peek what it looks like from the dirty side. Or should I say dirtier side. It's the heating system on the other side, those hoses with a fan. Almost like a VW setup. Let's see what we got back here. That should be our emergency brake. That's probably what's hanging up when I was trying to roll. Just burning the rust off of that. This is left of the muffler / heating right there. And just a drive shaft back to the rear end. It's an electric fuel pump right there. Fuel tank, a little mini suspension system. Looks like that, there's kind of some of the issue too. It's a worm drive. Oh, the drive is coming into the pinion. So that'll make it hard for that rear to turn without power going to it. She's not a free roller. A little tiny muffler. The body doesn't look terrible though. The frame doesn't look too bad. I think. You can get dualies under it. I like the tread on those tires, just wish it was bigger. Is that intake? It's probably intake. Yeah, it's intake for the heat for the cabin. Master cylinder. The wires are off of it. And I would suppose that does all three at the same time. With one circuit. That was like a master cylinder that I put inside that trailer that had juice brakes. Kind of looks similar to it. I do not suspect those to be mice. They're rag tucked up in there. There's a nest right here of something. Mice or squirrel. Look up there, I think comes attack into my face. The brake line, it's got a cobbled. Is that brake line set up? Which way does it move? Alright. It's just missing a clip that holds it in place. Well, I don't see big major holes in anything. Big old skid plates that when you make a turn, you gotta, I guess you leave your mark on corners where you've been. Hopefully we can leave a few marks ourselves. Alright, well, I'm gonna go get that carburetor put back together. And let's get that on there. I want to see if we can get this thing to fire up. This is that carb that's out of there. Kind of blew it out with the air gun all over the place. And needle and seats where the gas comes into the carburetor. Here's the gas line would come in. It's sitting upside down like that. Float ball's down here. Needle and seat, that's what meters how much fuel maintains its, how it maintains the level of fuel in the float ball here. And it just has a float and a valve that turns on and off. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but down inside there, it's kind of pitty looking, not nice and polishy, something to seal up against. Now the seal on this happens to be on the needle. Look at the tip of the needle, you can see the black that's on there. Whether that guy's any good or not, I don't know either, but we're going to try to give it its best shot. And what would happen is it won't be able to shut the fuel off. This is a valve grinding compound. We are going to try and do our best to put a little bit of polish on the bottom of that guy. That looks nice and shiny. I don't know if it shows up. Yeah, I think you can see it. That looks pretty good, huh? So I'm going to go come back with an oil, kind of clean that out. What's also nice is because of the Q-tip, you actually want a circular pattern. You don't want anything that goes across it because you're trying to make a seal, you know. So any little ridges you make are in a circle. You just need to make contact with one of those ridges all the way around and make a good seal. So. Alright, probably not going to show the rest of the carburetor going back together. I've done this, you know, every time we put one together, but we're just going to reassemble, put the jets back in it, and kind of go from there. Speed it up a little. Hey, I lied. I figure I'll keep it in the video. If the video is too long, you won't be seeing this. What's that? This is automatic transmission fluid. It's a thin oil. And then that's just to wash out the aggregate, the abrasive. There we go. That looks nice. Alright, what else do we got? You know what I want to do? I want to free up these linkages. They felt like they're kind of a little on the chalky moving side. So let's go try and dribble. Again, automatic transmission fluid is like a thin oil. And sometimes you want thinner instead of thicker. works its way in there, you know. And over temperature, sometimes it kind of helps too. The thinner the oil, cold, I mean. Unless it can kind of work its way in there. Like that's got a return spring on it, and it's just staying where it is. You know what I mean? So let's get it so we can. That seems pretty good. Let's really do this one up here. That already feels better. Let's give it a little bit more. You can use like some spray lubes and stuff too. I just find out the ones that spray sometimes are a little too thin. Seems like they'll wash out over time. Here we do, this is the choke lever. Should go further than that, right? There it goes. That one we're not that concerned about because that one has built-in detents. We'll just blow out the excess on the end of it when we're done. I think that's good. And what do I want? I want a rag. That's what I want. I think we can start putting the needles, the jets back in. Here's the main emulsion tube. I cleaned the outside up on the wire wheel and then it's soaked on the inside. And it should go straight down. Be able to pop through if it's not upside down. Maybe upside down. What that does is it pops through the goes. Should pop through the center of the carburetor, and you guys can see a little brass down in there. See it now sticking through on the bottom? Came up through there. So as air flows over the top of that, it draws up out of that tube, and it draws the gas. So the more air that flows through, the more gas it goes through there. Well, you got to meter how much of that gas is going in just to the right amount, right mix. So what it does, by you changing this jet, the hole in the inside of that jet allows you to do that. So when you say you're running too lean or too rich, you want to change up the jets. That's what they're talking about. You're going to change that jet to a different size. All right, where is the other one? I do believe we removed it from down there. Did we not? Is it still soaking? Or am I just having one of those moments? May not. That one may have just had the rubber plug. Gotta have a jet in it. If it's plugged, would it have a jet? You guys see threads up there? I think I'm missing something. That one's for the outside mix. All right, we're moving forward. We may revisit that one if I find it. I gotta check the parts washer. I'm not sure if I took one out of there or not. Yeah, it was a day or two ago. Let's go with, like we just said, the fine adjustment. The air fuel mix, probably for the idle circuit. It only has one, so I would surmise that maybe that's the idle one. Whereas it was on the side. There it is, up there. I'm just going to run that about all the way in and back it out too. Half, one and a half, two. And I think we need, should we do anything to that needle? How does that needle look? And the body of it's got a little bit of crud on it. I know I grabbed some parts for this thing. It'd be dumb if I look in the cabinet I found I already bought a carb kit for it. I know I got the headlight switch, tune-up parts. I should probably look. And maybe a faux pas. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Anyway, I think I did is put the float on it, and I blew through it with this position. Nothing goes through. Then you flip it over so the float drops down, and you can blow through. So that works for air. Hopefully, it works for fuel too. The height adjustment really isn't adjustable on that. It's plastic setup. But what I do as a general kind of rule of thumb is when you're looking at a carburetor, when it's in that position, it should be generally flat to the bottom surface of the bowl. You know, it shouldn't be way in or out in the other direction. That should be the resting position. As a general rule, it's not definitely not written in stone there. Very good. That I got to change that parts washer fluid to something a little bit more. I think what I have in there now was a mix of two things. I think it's purple power and something else. There is that missing jet. I knew it. Here we go. It was hiding as a screw. We're gonna go take that back apart, go clean that guy out of there, clean that guy up, and drop that guy in. Yeah, that's it. All right. So how many of you were trying to warn me when I was putting it together? I hear a few of you. My ears are ringing. Listen, if it hasn't happened to you yet, there'll be coming a time in your life when you look down at a tray that looks like that. Just saying. It will happen. It was supposed to be there, I just wasn't finding it. Excuses. There, now we're good. And what that does, so you got the main fuel. This is the idle fuel circuit of it. So that's why everything's along the smaller side. It's just meant to give a nice balance at the idle circuit to be more adjustable. The best way to do it. So I think we are good to go and put the bowl back on. And now we don't have any leftover parts. Oh, I was talking about the parts washing solution. It's purple power and I think simple green is kind of what's in there now. Purple power kind of tears up the aluminum somewhat. So I'm still trying different. A lot of you guys are asking, what are you using in the ultrasonic cleaner? And I don't want to make any recommendations yet because I have not found something that I find worthy of bragging about, you know. When I do, I will. I have a feeling it's going to be depending on what material you're working on, what you have, and it has a drain plug on it, so you can kind of drain fluids in and out of it. Let's blow some of that Earl off of it. Noise alert. Even keeps it from rusting. A nice little kidding of Earl. So we're gonna go set that up in the machine and pop that back in. And we need to find a gas. I don't know what that gas tank's like, so we're gonna get like a lawnmower gas tank or something, and we'll run it off of that temporary lease. That's all back together. Carbs on there. Choke set up. Lube the cable for the choke. Got a temporary gas can up there. It's on a pair of vice grips on an angle bracket with a pair of vice grips holding it to the cage. Jumper pack. You got the grounded to the block, and the hot lead. I'm trying to remember how the setup was the last time we kind of ran it. We ran it on spray once before in a previous video, but never had it run on the carburetor. I believe we have to grab power off of here on the coil. So that's the red wire coming over to this, and then we just have to jump to this, and it cranks to make it start. So hopefully it all come apart. Still needs to get to tune-up parts put in, everything kind of gone through. Check the oil. Oil looks super clean, but needs to run a while so it flushes up all the crap in the bottom so that you can drain it when it's hot. Plus I don't have an oil filter for it right now. But hopefully we can kind of get it to fire up and run. And I want to try to see if we can get if the clutch is functional and the transmission, if we have all the gears and that kind of you know, issue. Just trying to make sure that all the major components are what they're supposed to be before we invest a ton of time. You know what I mean? So without further ado, get you in the stand. Let's see if we can get the thing to run. I can go around the other side and be the fondler of wires. Alright. Alright, so I think this is going to energize a coil pack. I would have thought that would have arced, but maybe not. And this should crank it for us. Our choke is off at the moment. Let's just see what happens when we give her a spin. Let's try some choke. If you don't get anything with the choke, nope, that was the choke on. Now choke's off. If you don't get anything, then we're going to go check for spark. That's probably what our issue is. Yep, I don't think that's doing anything. Not that it's not the rustiest of connections that are on there too. We'll leave that end hooked up. And generally you see kind of like a spike draw, you know what I mean? You'll see some marking on the wire. Nope. We're going to go pop that cap back off the points there. I have a feeling that that is going to be what our issue is. But we got new ones. Yes, that's pretty much what the issue is. The points, now that's all coming back to me. The points, the key was left on at one point, and the return spring, that guy down back behind there, got real hot. You can see the white part of it here is not sitting in its saddle correctly. And so it lost its tension and it overheated. It just does not physically close the points all the way. So I'm going to go change those out. I got to go look up what the gap is, or I just may, you know, let me just call them like 16 or so. We'll kind of go with that for now and see what happens. Hey, what do you think? Go try it again. Get a new points condenser in there. Cleaned up some contacts and whatnot. And let's see if we get spark. See if she hums back to life. We don't exactly say hum. But when we get rid of that junk, and we need this guy attached to the red lead, so that and that gets constant power, and we bump it with this guy. I'm going to turn this guy on, make sure we are at idle. Yeah. Off. say we push the clutch in. Try shifting it. Shift pattern right there. Clutch doesn't feel very right. See if it grinds going into a gear. Yeah, it's frozen. I can see the throwout bearing wanting to move. So I know what we can do. Why don't we try putting it in gear? What do we want? This will be first gear, right? Like that. And we'll let the drivetrain kind of spin when we start it. So we need, turn that back on, and have that touch that. Should do it. Trying to get the other side to go. Try pushing the clutch again. Well, I think that is our next kind of major issue. See if we can get the, I think it's just the pressure plate is stuck to the flywheel. I'm sitting. I was hoping I can kind of jar it free by running it. If you see anything better on this side. Looks pretty open. I might try crawling underneath there and actually see if I can get something between the disc and the flywheel. Don't want to have to pull the drivetrain apart if I don't have to, you know what I mean? That's going to suck if I take the trans and the motor apart. Actually guys, I think I'm going to continue on, but we got probably pretty decent length of a video to this one right now. So when we go cut this one here, and we'll keep it, you know, will or not survive the clutch. And we'll move on from there on the next video. How's that? You agree? He agrees. Alright guys, with that, I want to thank all you guys for hanging out in the garage with me and just turning the wrenches. And we'll do it again soon. Later.